Hello and welcome to Chopping It Up. I'm your host, Lucas Parent, and we have a short little solo episode today. No JT, he has been diagnosed with the sniffles. So let's just run through what's going on in sports today. So last night, big NBA slate. Desmond Bane scored a career-high 49 points, and the Grizzlies squeaked past the Pistons, who are now 2-19. The Pistons did have a lead entering the fourth quarter. Embiid had a 50 ball last night. Sixers won. They are now 13-7. Rockets defeat the Thunder at home. That's a little bit of a marquee matchup in these days. The Thunder do own the Rockets' first-round pick this year. Mavericks beat the Jazz by 50. Luka had 29 points, 10 rebounds, and 10 assists in the first half, which is just otherworldly. He finished with 40, 10, and 11. Timberwolves feels like they're the story of the season so far. They're 16-4. They have an elite defense, and Gobert is playing like a legitimate all-star. Shout out to them. Mikal Bridges last night hit a go-ahead shot with seconds left to lift the Nets over the Hawks. Nets are 11-9. They have a tough road slate coming up. They have Sacramento, Phoenix, Denver, Golden State, Utah on the road before they go back to Brooklyn. And the Hawks have Philly, Denver, Toronto, Cleveland. They're 9-11. I don't think it's getting much better for them. They're not a great team, and I've been saying this. They were projected to have like 42 wins this season. I said there's no way they get to 42. It's just the league is too good, and they really did nothing to improve. I know they brought in Sadiq Bey late last year, but no disrespect, I don't think Sadiq Bey is a guy who's single-handedly winning you games in this climate. Even though he had a random 50 ball that one night where there was only one NBA game on, and it was like Pistons Magic. Speaking of Magic, they did lose to the Cavaliers, but Paolo Banchero scored a career-high of 42. So shout out to him, fellow Italian. Caitlin Clark, this is now women's college basketball. Caitlin Clark, 3,000 points on a career. What a career she's had. I can't wait to see her in the WNBA. I think for years we've been talking about, okay, how can the WNBA become a profitable product to make it more widespread, more universally likable? I think Caitlin Clark is the answer personally. I think she is the solution to the problem that the WNBA has. I think she is a trailblazer of her craft, and there's none like her. The stuff she does on the basketball court is exceptional, and she's eyeing now the NCAA women's all-time scoring records, so shout out to her. Back to the NBA, we have two in-season tournament games tonight. Indiana at Milwaukee. That one is at 5 p.m. Shout out to all my East Coast livers. Then we got New Orleans at LA at 9 o'clock. Shout out Adam Silver in the NBA. I love that these games don't start at 10 o'clock. Really just hate those 10 p.m. start times because it's 10:30 and you're already snoozing. So good job on Adam Silver for the in-season tournament. Baseball, Juan Soto has been traded to the Yankees for a big deal, including Kyle Higashioka. Huge deal. I think this pretty much takes them out of the Shohei Ohtani sweepstakes, which, listen, I'm not quite sure where he's going to end up. I think I'm leaning Cubs right now. I think he's going to end up with the Cubs. But if he went back to the Angels, I would definitely not be surprised. He's always talked about the hospitality in their organization. So I'm not sure where that's going to go, but Eduardo Rodriguez inks deal with the Diamondbacks. This is a guy that I wanted for the Red Sox. He had a career year last year, posting about a 3.3 ERA. This guy is a good pitcher. He's a good rotational pitcher. I'm not sure he can be an ace, but he's got stuff. And this is, I hate to end the podcast on a sad note, but I almost just shed a tear because tonight's Thursday night football game is New Orleans versus Pittsburgh. When I say this might be the worst football game ever played, I am not exaggerating at all. I thought the title might have been Giants-Patriots, but the Tommy DeVito element actually made that game a little fun. There's no fun in this game. If this ends in a 0-0 tie, I would actually not be confused. I would not be confused because these teams stink. I know the Steelers are like 7-5, but they don't have a good offense, really. Ever since they fired Matt Canada, it looked good for 1 week, and then last week it just completely boiled over. Pickett is hurt. Mitchell Trubisky is the starting quarterback. So just to add insult to injury there, we have Bailey Zappi versus Mitchell Trubisky on a nationally televised primetime game. That has me asking what happened to the sport I love, man, because this is just insane. I wish they had the option to flex this game out, but obviously you can't do that with a Thursday night football game. But man, this is just horrendous. And no, I'm not picking a winner because in the end of the day, there's no winners if we're all watching this game. So thank you for listening to Chopping It Up today. We will be on the air tomorrow with a new episode of Studio Session with Catherine. We are reviewing Dark Side of the Moon, talking about that. Might be adding a little new segment. You'll just have to listen and find out. So thank you for tuning in today, and we will catch you on the next episode of Chopping It Up.